Folks, sometimes a guest character just makes sense, you know, like Terry in Street Fighter 6. It makes sense. He's a super iconic fighting game character. Why shouldn't he appear in one of the most iconic fighting game franchises? But sometimes crossovers are a little bit more weird and off the wall and nonsensical. So that's what we're here to talk about today. I've collected some of the weirdest guest characters that have ever appeared in the history of fighting games. So let's get right into it. The first game we're going to look at here is Fighters Mega Mix. I feel like this game is super notorious for having some very weird guest characters. Fighters Mega Mix is actually a crossover between Virtua Fighter and Fighting Vipers, Sega's kind of two big fighting game franchises. But there are some interesting guest characters in this. Like, we got some of the characters from Sonic the Fighters in here. I guess they couldn't get the license for Sonic, so we got Bean and Bark. We've got Hornet the car, of course, probably the most famous guest character. When you first pick Hornet, his move list is like so bad. He's got very few moves, just like normal punches and kicks, and then he's got this move where he drives at you. But actually, you might not know, if you press back plus punch plus kick, you will actually shed your armor. Like that. And now he actually has like a whole move list with all different kinds of inputs. And yeah, he's got like launchers and combos now. So yeah, pro tip if you're playing Hornet, you can sacrifice your armor in order to unlock a much more full-featured moveset, but you do lose access to the driving move if you do this. And it carries over between rounds even, which is kind of bad. But yeah, now this forward punch becomes like a shoulder check instead of the driving move he had before. But yeah, that's Hornet from Daytona, USA, obviously. We've also got Mr. Meat. I've heard people say that this is the meat from Golden Axe, like that you pick up to heal. I don't know if that's legit, but either way, yeah, Mr. Meat, I think you have to start the game 30 times to unlock this character or something. Very strange unlock condition. And we've got the Palm Tree, and I believe you have to play the game for like 83 hours. That needs to be like the playtime on your save file. And then you unlock the Palm Tree, who is from the logo of AM2, who were the developers of this game, along with, you know, Fighting Vipers and all those other fighting games. So, yeah, you can play as the logo Palm Tree, but there's not a lot of info about this character out there because, yeah, you got to play for 83 hours, which, you know, for back in the day, that's a pretty serious investment. But, yeah. Fighters Mega Mix, I think one of the great games when it comes to guest characters. There is a ton of weirdness that you don't really see anymore these days. But let's go back in time to the predecessor to that last game, Fighting Vipers. This game has a very interesting guest character only in the Japanese version. And the way we unlock this character is very interesting as well. So we're just going to go into single player here. And pretty much we just kind of have to give up, okay? So I'm going to take my hands off the controller. I'm going to give up on the match and let's see what happens. Okay, we got Challenger comes. And this is pretty cool. The CPU is going to go through and select the secret guest character here. It's Pepsi Man. If you couldn't tell from the music. Let's go. So yeah, then you fight Pepsi Man. And we have to defeat him because I want to be able to play as Pepsi Man. So wish me luck here. Yeah, this move is pretty spammable. The AI doesn't seem to know how to deal with it. So yeah, we've defeated Pepsi Man. So now we can play as Pepsi Man. So yeah, here he is off the side of character select. Specialty, quench one's thirst. Let's go. So yeah, I was kind of hoping he would have like a Pepsi moveset, like maybe he like drinks a Pepsi and like throws the can at you, but no, he's actually pretty standard. Like he's fun to play, but he doesn't really feel like some way crazy wacky joke character. He just feels like, you know, Pepsi Man's just an ordinary dude. And also, I don't think you get to hear his song either. Like, at least I haven't had that happen. When you're playing matches, it just uses the normal theme music and not the iconic Pepsi Man theme song. So, yeah, a super weird one. And again, not in any version outside of Japan, but it's kind of crazy that this exists, I'm going to be honest. So, yeah, Pepsi Man and Fighting Vipers. Incredible choice for a guest character. This next one's super relevant now that, you know, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection is out. We can take a look at another super weird guest character. And he is in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. And this is Japanese only. Once again, a Japanese only guest character. So let's take a look at Norimaro. What is Norimaro's deal, bro? So Norimaro is essentially like an OC, an original character of Noritake Kinashi, who kind of created this nerdy guy, a little bit based on himself, as a secret character only in the Japanese version of Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. So, you know, he's kind of one of those like Luigi type characters where, you know, he's a little bit of comic relief, a little bit of goofiness. He kind of accidentally hits you, maybe similar to a character like Phoenix Wright. He does have an infinite, but it is extremely difficult to do. I don't know if this is actually viable outside of TAS, but yeah, you can dash to link this right here. It kind of looks like this, but I'm really bad. I can't do it. So yeah, he does have that. I don't think that's enough to really make him decent. His supers are also amazing. You know, we could throw everything in the kitchen sink out of his little satchel. This one as well, you know, it's kind of like a Raging Demon type thing. I mean, look at all the animations, all the drawings they had to do for this little one-off joke character are kind of insane. So again, you know, I really like when developers put work into just dumb little things. I know some people might be like a waste of a slot. They could have spent that time adding like another character people actually care about, but I just feel like stuff like this isn't really done anymore, and it's a nice little throwback to the way things used to be when games were a little bit less serious and a little bit more silly. So I really like Norimaro. Next up, another kind of all-time Humegalol type character has to be Negan from The Walking Dead in Tekken 7. This one is just so bizarre. I mean, you know, at one time, The Walking Dead was probably one of the most relevant shows on television, but by the time Negan came out, it kind of felt like the peak of Walking Dead's moment in the cultural spotlight had begun to fade. And then they added this guy, and, you know, he fights with a bat, which is kind of cool and unique for Tekken, but overall, he just seemed like a really weird inclusion to me and kind of a bit like an advertisement. I think that's the big thing a lot of people didn't like, was like, oh, did The Walking Dead pay you to put this guy in the game and advertise their show? I don't know. I think it turned a lot of people off. But he was a pretty simple and easy to pick up character for beginners, so that was kind of nice, and he ended up being decent enough to see some amount of competitive play, which was definitely a sight to see in tournament when you just see the dude from The Walking Dead roll up with the bat. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think, unlike Norimaro, I think Negan maybe felt a little bit soulless or unnecessary to include, but hey, some people find him cool regardless. And The Walking Dead was kind of cool at one point, right, guys? And finally, we've got the game that I think has the weirdest collection of guest characters, perhaps ever, in any fighting game. And that is, of course, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, specifically the PS3 version. That is where you will find a wonderful assortment of guest characters like the cats, Toro and Kuro. So Toro and Kuro, I guess, are kind of like PlayStation mascot type characters. They've appeared in a few official Sony products and presentations. So in this game, they're kind of like crappy versions of Ryu and Kazuya. So you can see Toro is the Ryu, which is kind of funny. I think Kuro is the Kazuya. I mean, he's even got the glowing red eye. I mean, look at that. So sick, dude. I mean, look, he can wave dash, he can electric, he can do hell sweep. He's really got the whole suite of Kazuya moves here, so that's pretty cool. Let's check out the super real quick. Oh, he's got the laser eye beam. Let's go. What about the Toro super? Oh, of course, Shinku Hadoken. But those aren't the only guest characters in the game. We've also got Capcom and Namco, since this is a Capcom and Namco crossover. Their biggest iconic characters, Mega Man and Pac-Man. Right, guys? Everybody loves these guys. Except, who is this guy? This is not the Mega Man I know. Okay, maybe this is the Mega Man you see when you buy the box for the NES back in the day. I think that was actually the inspiration for this, which is so weird. Why not put in the normal Mega Man that we all like? Why put in this weird guy? But okay, he's got the Buster Shot. He's got Ice Shot, you know? So, yeah, that's Mega Man. And we've also got Pac-Man, who... Pac-Man looks like Pac-Man, except for some reason he's riding in a Mokujin mech. Again, like, I guess it would be weird if it was just like a giant Pac-Man fighting with Ryu, but I don't know. I think I would almost prefer that to this bizarre situation. But okay, yeah, he could shoot a Buster Shot, which is really like a power pellet. He could like body slam you. Pac-Man's not actually that bad. I mean, look, he's got like one of the biggest standing heavy punches in the game. This is like Sagat in CVS 2. So yeah, he had some pretty huge range normals, which is decent. Let's check out the supers here. Okay, Pac-Man. Ooh, he's kind of like Tron-Bon, actually. That never really occurred to me. I wonder if they were trying to do like a Tron-Bon reference with this. And then Mega Man Super. Let's see it. Okay, it's just the world's worst Mega Buster. Also, his voice. I mean, I know he's like an old man. He sounds like a grown man. Why is his voice like that? It's so weird. I think Mega Man might actually be #1 weirdest guest character of all time. I do not know what they were thinking with this guy. And then there was one more guest character who is probably the most forgotten in this game, and one of the weirdest inclusions. It's kind of hard to even see him on the character select screen. He doesn't stand out quite as much as some of the others, and it's Cole. And it's like, who is Cole? Unlike the other guests, he actually seems like maybe he could fit in this game. But this is actually the protagonist of the game Infamous, or so I'm told. I haven't played the game Infamous. But yeah, it's like an open world game where you have like electric superpowers. So that's Cole. You can see, you know, he can throw lightning. He's got like the lightning barrier. He's got lightning anti-air. Slam you down with some lightning there. So yeah, this is another one similar to Negan, where to me it kind of feels like an ad. You know, this is not a Capcom character, not a Bandai character. This is just a Sony character. And so they were like, okay, for the Sony version of the game on PlayStation, let's include our Sony character. I don't know. To me, it does not feel super earned, this guest character spot. Let's check out his super at least. So yeah, some of you are probably gonna... Ooh, it's like a tornado? That's kind of cool. Some of you are probably gonna disagree with me. If you really like Infamous, you might think that he's pretty cool. Wait, does he fight with a bat? No, he fights with like these like electric sticks, I guess. Never mind. I thought we had another bat character on our hands. So yeah, some of you might like Cole. I just think he's kind of a weird inclusion. I know the cats aren't Namco or Capcom characters either, but you know, at least they play like Ryu and Kazuya. They felt a little bit more natural to me than Cole. But again, feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but I think that Street Fighter Cross Tekken definitely has the weirdest collection of guest characters in any fighting game of all time. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to let me know if there are any super weird guest characters that I didn't include. I'm sure there's a lot. And maybe I'll make a follow-up video where I discuss even more of the weirdest guest characters in fighting games. But I had a lot of fun making this one, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hit the like and subscribe if you made it this far. It really helps me out. And we're going to end the video there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.